Wooden Christmas trees. They cost $5 of material and roughly take 20 minutes to build. It's a fun, easy, beginner-friendly woodworking project. I'm gonna make this video easy to follow, show all the steps, all the measurements, so anybody can make this. All you need for material is one 10-foot 2x4. That's all you need for the lumber, and then you need screws. I recommend 2.5-inch wood screws. I'm just using normal deck screws that are 2.5-inch long. I'll bring the camera in and show you guys the tools. Okay, so for tools, we're gonna need a drill. We want to pre-drill, so I recommend a 1/8-inch drill bit. We need an impact driver, tape measure. Having one of these carpenter squares is gonna help a lot. These are the 2.5-inch wood screws. This is my 2x4 that's 10 foot long. As you can see, it is nice and straight. And then you're gonna need a saw to make all your cuts. And you need a saw that can bevel. So almost all miter saws nowadays can bevel. I've just got a basic Ryobi. Okay, to start, we are gonna cut these top two pieces. So we're gonna cut these two pieces and then assemble them together and work our way down the tree. So grab your 2x4 and go over to your saw. Now, throughout this video, if you guys get lost at any point with the measurements, I'm gonna post my plans that have all the measurements and angles on them. I'm gonna post it right here so that you guys can reference that throughout if you get confused at all. We are going to place our 2x4 on our saw, and the first thing we need to do is we need to bevel this saw. So we are going to bevel it to 22.5 degrees. I'm going to bring the camera in and show you guys this, as it's super important. If we go to the back here, there should be an angle gauge. We're currently at 0, and we want to set it to 22.5 degrees, which is that red line. Okay, so we've got the saw set at 22.5 degrees, and we are gonna lock it in. When making your first cut, we wanna waste as little material as possible. So we are gonna bring our saw down and make our first cut. Scrap. Now, throughout this video, every time we make a cut, I'm gonna leave the 2x4 in the position I cut it. I will tell you when you have to flip it. If I don't mention flipping it, that simply means you don't have to flip it. So the next thing we want to do is take our 2x4 and flip it over on side. Flip it over on its side, and then we have to change this bevel from 22.5 degrees to 45. So I am going to release this and set it to 45 degrees. So just to bring the camera in and show you guys that, it's currently at 22.5. I am going to set it at 45. This is where we have to make our first measurement. So we already flipped the board. We are going to measure from the long point of that cut we made, and we're going to make a mark at 14 inches. So I've got my mark at 14. As you can see, the tape's hooked on the long point, and our measurement is 14 inches. Now we can make that cut. Okay, now we want to take our 2x4, flip it, and we want to change this bevel from 45 back to 22.5 degrees. So I'm going to shift it back to 22.5 degrees. Lock it in place, as this is the last time we need to change the angle on the saw. Okay, again, I'll just bring this in. I want to make this really easy so nobody gets confused. We're going to change it from 45 degrees back to 22.5 and lock it in place. That's the last time we need to change the angle. We already flipped the board, so we want to take our tape, hook it on that long point there, and we want to measure and mark 12 inches. So again, I'll bring the camera in and show, just so that nobody misses a step. We are hooked on the long point of that cut, and we've got our mark at 12 inches. Okay, we've got our first two pieces cut. Let's go take them over to our workbench and assemble them. Okay, we've got the two pieces we cut. The first piece is longer, the second piece is shorter. We want to take the ends that have the 45-degree cut, which is the longer angle, and we are going to join them together just like that. So we've got the 14-inch piece, the 12-inch piece, and we are going to line them up so that those two angles meet together. I'm going to screw this together and then I'll show it to you guys. You always want to pre-drill. Pre-drilling allows the joint to be pulled together tightly when you screw it together. If you don't pre-drill, you get a really loose joint. We're going to put 2 screws into each of these pieces. Okay, so looking at this, we've got a nice clean angle that comes down. This is flush. So that is the first 2 pieces. We've got these first 2 pieces assembled together. We can set it off to the side. We are now going to cut these next 4 pieces. These 4 pieces are identical, so we're going to cut them all at the same time, and I'll show you all the measurements. Okay, I have not moved the 2x4, so we want it in the position where the short end of the angle is facing up. And grab your tape measure, hook it on so that the tape measure is hooked just on the edge of that angle. We want to make 2 different measurements. First, we want to measure 12-inch, and second, we want to make a mark at 2-inch. This is where your speed square is going to come in handy, and we want to take that 2-inch mark and we want to draw the line straight across. So having one of these, make sure that your line is 90 degrees. I'll bring the camera in and show you guys exactly what this looks like. You can see our tape measure is hooked on the short end of that angle. I've traced a line straight across at 2-inch, and then I've made a mark at 12-inch. The 12-inch mark is where we're going to cut. So we're going to cut this at 12-inch. This is what that piece looks like that we just cut. Now we're going to use this as a template to measure and mark our next 3 pieces. So grab the piece and your square, and what we want to do is we want to rest it so that the end is flush, and then grab your square, and you should be able to transfer the line straight across that we drew at 2-inch, and then if you go down, you should be able to easily make a mark at the end of the board. That's our 12-inch mark. So I'll bring the camera in and show you. Okay, so as you can see, I just made it so that those 2 ends were flush. I drew my line across at 2 inches, and then I made a mark there at 12-inch, so we can cut that. Again, we want to cut a total of 4 of these pieces, so while you do it, just use the same piece to trace them each, and then trace your measurements at that 2-inch mark and your 12-inch mark to cut. Alright, just like that, we've got all 4 of these pieces cut. So let's assemble them. The 4 pieces cut, we are going to do 2 at a time. Doesn't matter which 2 of the 4 you use, they're all identical. So grab your top piece, and the line that we drew at 2-inch, we want that to be the overlap. So we're going to make it where the bottom of this angle sits flush with that line. So simply look down the side, line it up so it's flush on top, line that up there, and then screw it together. Okay, I've got these pieces screwed together. Let me bring the camera in and show you guys so there's no confusion again. This is what it looks like. So that line that we drew at 2-inch, we made so that it is sitting flush. So it's just faintly there. Do the same on both sides, and when doing this you want to make sure that the tops are all flush as well. So now we can screw these next 2 pieces on, and just so that people can see this, there's my 2-inch line. So I am going to put it on so that that line is sitting right at the bottom of this angle, just like that. So just like that, we've got the actual body of the tree done. The last thing to do is cut these bottom 2 pieces. Let's go back to the saw and I'll show you that. Back over to the saw, we now want to flip this piece. So we've got the long part of the angle facing up. Grab your tape measure, and we are going to make a measurement at 21 inches. So I made a mark at 21. I'll show you guys that. The tape is hooked on the long point of the angle there, and our mark is at 21 inch. Okay, and then we're going to take our board, we are going to flip it again, and we are going to make a mark at 12 inches. So hook your tape on, and we are going to measure and mark 12 inch. I'll bring the camera in again. We're hooked on the long point of the angle, and our mark is at 12 inch. Okay, we've got the two pieces cut. Those are our final cuts. This last piece here is scrap. You can throw it out or keep it if you want to build yourself more trees. We've got the two pieces we just cut. So we want these two pieces to fit together just like this. So we want to find the middle of both of these pieces. So to do that, this bottom piece, hook your tape measure on the bottom from long point to long point. The middle is 6 inch. So make a mark at 6 inch. And then this piece from long point to long point is 21. So the middle of that is 10 and a half. And we can put them together, and then using our square, we just want to line them up so that those two lines are in line. Put a line there so that we don't mix that up. I'm going to bring the camera in and show you. As you can see, the orientation for this, we've got the angles facing out. We found the middle of this, which is 6 inch. We found the middle of this, which is 10 and a half. We made our marks and we got them lined up. So the first thing we're going to do is screw these together. I find it easiest if you rest the piece down. Just make sure that everything is flush and lined up. We're going to put 4 screws in. Now that we've got this screwed together, we want to screw the long piece onto the bottom of the tree. So you simply just want to line it up so you're flush on the top and so that your angle is flush on the side. So let me screw this together and then I'll show it to you guys. Okay, so as you can see, we're flush on the top and our angle is flush on the side. All right, and just like that, our wooden Christmas tree is done. So when you're good at these, you can make them in about 20 minutes. Again, the lumber costs $5. If you want, you can leave the tree natural like this, or you could stain it, you could paint it. Some people wrap Christmas lights on these. Technically, you can make these trees any size you want. So I have other videos on my YouTube channel showing how to make this smaller 2-foot tree and showing how to make this bigger 4-foot tree. So check out my channel. I have the long videos in there. They're in a category that should be easy to find, and they're really easy to follow as well. Now, if you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a comment. That helps my channel grow, helps me do bigger and better projects. If you could leave a comment, it also helps, as new people coming to this video often check the comments. So if they see positive reviews, it kind of encourages them to try the project. I have all kinds of other videos on my YouTube channel: home renovation tips and tricks, yard work, tools, all kinds of things. So I really appreciate you guys watching. You can also find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I post daily videos. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys all have a great Christmas season.